Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. The alien envoy floated silently above the small blue planet, its sensors scanning the surface with unmatched precision. For months, it had observed the species below, recording every movement, every action, and every unusual pattern. What it found now made its circuits hum with a mixture of awe and alarm. Humans were unlike any species the Council had studied before. Their movements, decisions, and coordination seemed simple on the surface, but the underlying intelligence was extraordinary. Small groups of humans practiced what appeared to be training exercises, yet the envoy detected patterns that were adaptive, unpredictable, and efficient. It paused, analyzing the behavior. Every simulation, every maneuver, every decision the humans made was deliberate yet flexible. The envoy's sensors recorded the data, transmitting encrypted signals to the Council. The Council would be interested, yes, but also shocked. This species, so young, so fragile, could pose a challenge no one had predicted. The envoy moved closer, careful to remain undetectable. Humans were clever, observant, and increasingly aware of their surroundings. Some paused mid-exercise, looking at the environment as if sensing something unseen. The envoy noted the subtle shifts in posture, the slight hesitation before movement, and the instinctive adjustments to terrain. These were not random. They indicated intelligence, adaptability, and strategy. The envoy's mind, or what passed for thought, worked quickly, analyzing thousands of variables, cross-referencing them against known species and simulations. The human's capacity for learning in real time, combined with instinct and teamwork, was remarkable. The envoy sent another report, emphasizing the human's potential and the need for careful monitoring. Far below, humans continued their routines, unaware of the silent observer. Leaders coordinated teams with gestures, verbal commands, and quick decision-making. Every unit worked in harmony, improvising when obstacles were introduced. The envoy noted that humans did not merely react. They predicted, adapted, and sometimes created solutions no previous species had shown at this stage. One team practiced tactical maneuvers, using obstacles, simulated threats, and unfamiliar terrain to test themselves. Each mistake was corrected immediately, and lessons were shared across units. Humans learned from one another, improving faster than simulations had projected. The envoy recorded every detail, recognizing that intelligence alone did not explain their success. Coordination, ethical decision-making, and creativity played equal roles. The envoy felt a sense of urgency. The Council must know the truth, yet how much should be revealed? Humans were still unaware of interstellar observers. Exposure could change everything. Decisions made now could influence the species' growth for centuries. The envoy observed humans experimenting with new formations and communication methods. They combined strategy with intuition, improvising when conditions changed. The ability to adapt on the fly was exceptional. Simulated attacks by their own teams were countered cleverly, sometimes anticipating moves that the envoy's algorithms had not predicted. The envoy's internal processors flagged anomalies, comparing human learning speed with other species observed across countless worlds. Humans were faster, more creative, and more resilient than any had expected. Suddenly, a new observation caught the envoy off guard. A human leader made a decision that combined instinct with strategic foresight. The move was risky, yet it succeeded, demonstrating judgment and intuition. The envoy recorded it in detail, knowing this would be critical in its reports. Council members would need to understand not just the human's ability to adapt, but their ability to make calculated risks, showing courage and ingenuity. The envoy moved to another sector, observing logistics and training grounds. Humans organized resources efficiently, communicated silently at times, and worked collaboratively without apparent conflict. The envoy noted the complexity and efficiency of their operations. Each human decision impacted others, creating a chain reaction of adaptability and learning. This level of coordination and moral consideration had rarely been observed. As night fell, humans continued training under artificial lights, practicing maneuvers, refining strategies, and learning from mistakes. The envoy observed from above, hidden among the clouds. Even in darkness, the humans' adaptability shone. Their ability to improvise and collaborate was extraordinary. The envoy's processors highlighted key observations. Humans were capable, unpredictable, and rapidly evolving. Each report transmitted to the Council stressed these points. The Council would debate, analyze, and possibly doubt some findings, but the envoy knew the truth. Humans were unlike any species previously encountered. Their intelligence, creativity, and courage were intertwined with adaptability and morality, forming a combination that could shape the future. Days passed, and the envoy continued observation. Every movement, exercise, and decision was logged meticulously. The humans did not know they were being watched, yet their actions had consequences far beyond their awareness. Each success and failure contributed to a larger pattern of growth, evolution, and increasing capability. The envoy transmitted a detailed summary to the Council, emphasizing that humans were extraordinary in both strategy and ethics. The Council would be shocked, perhaps divided in opinion, but the envoy had no doubt. Humans were unique, unpredictable, and capable of rapid advancement. The discovery had changed everything. What had started as routine observation had become a mission of critical importance. Humans were no longer just another species. They were a species to watch, a species that could influence the galaxy's balance in ways few anticipated. The envoy remained aloft, continuing to monitor, aware that each human action, each decision, each innovation was a step toward a future that no one could yet predict. Suspense hung thick in every observation, and the envoy understood that the story of humanity was only beginning. The alien envoy continued its silent observation, moving cautiously above the human training grounds. The previous data had already revealed unusual intelligence and adaptability, but what it witnessed now was far beyond its projections. Humans were learning faster than anticipated, not just reacting to challenges but anticipating them. A squad moved through simulated obstacles, coordinating movements with a precision that rivaled the envoy's own algorithms. Yet there was more. Humans were improvising in ways the envoy could not predict. One unit, confronted with a sudden barrier, altered its path and used the environment creatively, turning what appeared to be a disadvantage into a tactical advantage. The envoy recorded every detail, noting patterns of problem-solving, improvisation, and ethical decision-making. The humans communicated efficiently, using a mix of gestures, verbal cues, and instinctive signals that were perfectly synchronized. Every member of the squad understood each other without confusion, adapting instantly when conditions changed. The envoy realized that humans were not only intelligent, they were intuitive, capable of reading situations and adjusting strategies in real time. The Council would need to understand this. Humans' rapid learning and creative problem-solving could surpass many older civilizations in a remarkably short time. As the day progressed, the envoy observed humans engaging in simulated combat exercises. They worked as units, anticipating the moves of opposing teams and countering strategies that even advanced sensors struggled to analyze. Mistakes were corrected immediately, and lessons were shared across squads, creating a network of rapidly improving skills. The envoy marveled silently at their capacity to evolve under observation. It recorded data on every action, every adjustment, and every innovation. Humans were experimenting not only with tactics but with leadership structures, assigning roles dynamically and adjusting responsibilities based on skill and circumstance. One human leader assessed the abilities of team members in real time, delegating tasks that optimized the squad's performance. The envoy noted that humans were capable of making strategic decisions under pressure, balancing risk with potential reward. This level of foresight and adaptability was unprecedented. During a pause in exercises, the envoy observed humans repairing and modifying equipment. They worked collaboratively, sharing knowledge instantly, and integrating improvements into their simulations. These modifications were not random. They were deliberate enhancements, often anticipating potential future challenges. The envoy sensors flagged several innovations that were highly efficient and surprisingly advanced for the species' current technological level. It transmitted encrypted updates to the Council, emphasizing that humans were integrating creativity, collaboration, and strategic thinking in real time. This species was growing faster than expected, and the envoy knew that continued observation was critical. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, humans ran night exercises, testing their skills under low-light conditions. The envoy remained hidden, analyzing their movements, decisions, and interactions. Humans adapted to limited visibility, using intuition, communication, and coordination to maintain effectiveness. Every action was calculated, yet flexible, demonstrating that humans were capable of learning and performing under extreme circumstances. The envoy realized that humans' unpredictability was their strength. They could adapt to almost any challenge, making them difficult to forecast or control. The Council would be alarmed to learn how efficiently this species could respond to unexpected scenarios. Suddenly, a team encountered a simulated threat it had not faced before. The humans hesitated only briefly before assessing the situation and taking decisive action. They split into subunits, used the terrain creatively, and coordinated an attack that neutralized the threat efficiently. The envoy's sensors struggled to track every variable, amazed by the humans' ingenuity. The report sent to the Council highlighted the humans' ability to improvise, coordinate, and learn from immediate experience. Each squad member contributed uniquely, and the combination of independent thought and collaborative action created outcomes that the envoy's models could not fully predict. Later, the envoy observed humans conducting simulated strategy meetings. They analyzed scenarios, debated options, and considered outcomes that extended beyond immediate challenges. Their discussions were structured, logical, and ethical, showing a surprising level of foresight. The envoy noted that humans were learning not only through experience but also through collective reasoning. This capacity for adaptive learning combined with creativity and ethics was extraordinary for a species at this stage. Night deepened, and humans retired to temporary shelters. The envoy remained above, continuing to record, analyze, and transmit data. Patterns emerged. Humans improved daily, adapted efficiently, and integrated lessons quickly. Their skills were growing exponentially, demonstrating that unpredictability, intelligence, and creativity were intertwined in ways that made them exceptionally capable. The envoy's internal systems highlighted the growing concern. Humans could become a dominant force if allowed to develop further. Their ability to learn, innovate, and cooperate surpassed many older civilizations' early stages. The envoy sent a final report for the day. Humans continue to display unexpected skills. Their adaptability, creativity, and coordination are exceptional. Observation must continue. Any intervention must be carefully considered. This species has potential for rapid evolution and influence in the galaxy. The first light of dawn illuminated the training grounds once more, showing humans preparing for another day of exercises. Each action, each innovation, and each ethical choice added to their growing capability. The envoy watched silently, aware that humans were becoming more than a species to observe. They were a species to respect, analyze, and, if necessary, monitor closely. Suspense hung in every observation, for the humans were unpredictable, fast learners, and remarkably inventive. Each day brought new surprises, new tactics, and new insights. The envoy realized that humanity's rise was only beginning, and every decision, every experiment, and every adaptation contributed to a future that no one, not even the oldest council members, could yet predict. Humans were evolving quickly, and the envoy knew that their potential, if left unchecked, could reshape the balance of power across the stars. The alien envoy remained cloaked above the human settlement, its sensors analyzing every detail of daily life. Humans were conducting exercises, maintaining equipment, and coordinating with one another. Yet the envoy noticed patterns that went far beyond mere training. There were subtle strategies embedded in their routines, choices that indicated foresight and adaptability. Every action, even those that seemed mundane, had underlying intelligence. The humans were unaware of the observer, yet their movements and decisions were building a complex web of capability and knowledge. The envoy recorded all activity, noting how humans communicated through subtle gestures, brief verbal commands, and instinctive understanding. Coordination occurred without overt signals, showing that humans were capable of learning and acting collectively in real time. What caught the envoy's attention most was the humans' ability to hide true intent. On the surface, their exercises appeared simple, routine, and straightforward. Yet beneath the obvious, there were layers of preparation, contingency plans, and adaptive techniques that could not be predicted by standard models. Humans were masking their ingenuity in plain sight, and the envoy realized that this level of subtlety was rare among species at this stage. It transmitted encrypted updates to the Council, emphasizing that humans were not only clever but capable of deception without malice, a sophistication that allowed them to remain unpredictable. The envoy moved closer to a team conducting a navigation exercise. The humans encountered unexpected obstacles, a fallen tree, a rough terrain patch, and a sudden diversion in the route. While an ordinary species might panic or hesitate, humans adjusted seamlessly. One team leader signaled minor changes, and the entire squad adapted instantly, demonstrating improvisation and foresight. Sensors recorded every adjustment, analyzing speed, coordination, and effectiveness. The humans' ability to conceal real strategies while maintaining efficiency astonished the envoy. Even during breaks, humans discussed techniques, shared observations, and refined approaches. Lessons were passed quickly and incorporated immediately, showing a capacity for collective learning. The envoy noted that humans did not just learn from success, they learned from failure, integrating mistakes into future actions efficiently. Later, the envoy observed humans conducting tactical exercises involving simulated combat. Humans anticipated opponents' moves, responded creatively, and improvised strategies in real time. Some units deliberately staged errors to test responses from others. The envoy systems highlighted these moments as extraordinary. Humans were not just reactive, they were predictive, experimental, and collaborative simultaneously. The Council would need to understand that this was more than tactical skill. It was a form of intelligence that combined logic, intuition, ethics, and creativity in a way that was rare for any young species. The envoy continued surveillance during the evening. Humans returned to training camps, repairing equipment, reorganizing supplies, and planning for the next day. Even these mundane tasks were conducted with strategic thought, efficiency, and foresight. Humans were improving continuously, not just physically but mentally, socially, and strategically. The envoy recorded these observations meticulously, analyzing patterns of leadership, coordination, and innovation. Humans demonstrated a combination of independence and teamwork that created outcomes greater than the sum of individual efforts. This emergent behavior was unusual and highly effective. On one occasion, the envoy observed humans encountering a natural obstacle during an outdoor simulation. Instead of halting or retreating, the humans split into subunits, adapted routes, and executed contingency plans seamlessly. They improvised bridges, used tools creatively, and coordinated movements without confusion. Sensors and analytical systems tracked their efficiency, noting that the humans were learning in real time and applying knowledge immediately. The envoy transmitted these findings with high priority to the Council, emphasizing that humans were capable of problem-solving under pressure, unpredictably yet effectively. Later that night, humans gathered around strategy tables, reviewing exercises and planning for future simulations. The envoy watched silently as debates occurred, each individual contributing, each decision carefully weighed. The discussions included ethical considerations, how to avoid unnecessary risk, how to protect teammates, and how to balance efficiency with safety. The envoy noted that humans were thinking beyond the immediate moment, demonstrating foresight and moral reasoning combined with intelligence and innovation. The patterns emerging from daily observation were astonishing. Humans improved continuously, collaborated efficiently, and remained unpredictable even under pressure. Their ability to hide true skill while performing successfully created layers of complexity that the envoy had never encountered before. Every success, every adaptation, and every decision contributed to a growing potential that could not be ignored. The envoy prepared another encrypted report to the Council, noting that humans were not just evolving in skill, they were evolving in strategy, ethics, and social cohesion. Exposure to the wider galaxy could be both a risk and an opportunity. The envoy realized that the humans' capacity to mask their true ability, to innovate without revealing all, made them extremely difficult to predict. Even advanced algorithms struggled to model their behavior accurately. The first rays of dawn illuminated the training grounds, and humans prepared for another day of exercises. Each step, each decision, and each subtle adjustment added to the complexity the envoy had been monitoring. Suspense hung in every observation. Humans were learning faster than expected, remaining unpredictable, and demonstrating skill that could influence the balance of power far beyond their planet. The envoy's internal systems marked this as a critical phase. Continued observation, careful recording, and analysis were imperative. Humans were extraordinary, and every action, though hidden in plain sight, showed a species capable of remarkable growth, strategy, and ethical reasoning. The envoy whispered silently to itself, Humans are learning, adapting, and hiding their true potential. Watch closely. Their future may surprise the galaxy. With that, the envoy prepared to follow the humans through another cycle of training, observation, and discovery, knowing that every moment contributed to a species rising quietly but undeniably toward greatness. The alien council chamber was vast and filled with beings older than most stars, their multiple eyes fixed on the streams of data sent by the envoy. Every movement, every decision, and every innovation of the humans had been meticulously recorded and transmitted. The council had studied countless species across galaxies, yet the intelligence, creativity, and adaptability of humans had shocked even the most seasoned members. Murmurs rippled across the chamber as projections displayed humans performing exercises, adapting to unpredictable obstacles, and demonstrating problem-solving skills the council had never observed at such an early stage of development. One of the elder counselors raised a clawed hand, silencing the chamber. The reports confirm what our initial observation suggested. The counselor began, her voice resonating with authority. Humans are unlike any species we have studied. Their intelligence is adaptive, their creativity remarkable, and their ethical reasoning advanced beyond expectation. Yet this raises a critical question. How do we respond? The chamber erupted into discussion. Some members argued that humans' rapid growth and unpredictability were a potential threat. One counselor, known for decisive actions, spoke sharply. If we wait, this species will evolve unchecked. Their unpredictability makes them dangerous. We cannot afford to observe passively while they gain strength, knowledge, and skill. Another counselor countered, her tone calm but firm. We have seen them act with foresight, collaboration, and ethical judgment. They have not yet discovered the wider galaxy or even that we observe them. Intervention now could provoke them unnecessarily. Patience is wisdom. The debate grew heated. Voices overlapped, arguments twisted around risk, ethics, and potential. Some council members feared preemptive action would destroy the possibility of a future ally. Others feared inaction could lead to disaster. The envoy watched silently, projecting visual streams and annotations to the council. Every reaction, every expression, and every shift in argument was recorded, analyzed, and interpreted. The humans below, unknowingly, had created tension among the oldest, most experienced beings in the galaxy. The council's divisions reflected the unpredictable nature of humanity itself. The elder counselor raised her hands again to regain control. We must consider the long-term consequences. The humans are extraordinary, yes, but extraordinary does not equate to danger if handled correctly. We must balance observation with caution. Direct intervention should be a last resort. Another counselor leaned forward, his voice edged with frustration. Last resort? By the time we reach that point, they may surpass our ability to predict or control them. Their innovation is exponential. Their coordination, strategy, and ethics combined make them a species that could alter regional balance faster than we calculated. A younger member of the council interjected. We have underestimated them. They learn quickly, adapt faster, and respond ethically and strategically. Their actions show ingenuity, collaboration, and foresight. Intervention might provoke them, yes, but even continued observation carries risk. They are not a species we can ignore. The chamber fell silent for a moment as each member considered the implications. The envoy recorded every reaction, aware that humans' actions had become a catalyst for debate among some of the galaxy's most powerful minds. The humans' unpredictability was now a variable the council could not control. As hours passed, the discussion evolved. Simulations were run, historical precedents analyzed, and predictions compared. Even with advanced algorithms, no council member could fully project humans' future behavior. Their combination of adaptability, creativity, and ethical reasoning created outcomes that defied conventional models. The envoy observed that even subtle human actions could trigger significant responses in the council. Small innovations, minor tactical adjustments, and unplanned ethical decisions caused re-evaluation, debate, and sometimes disagreement among council members. The envoy recorded the psychological impact, noting that humans had become a species whose growth and unpredictability challenged even the oldest institutions. Night fell in the council chamber, but deliberations continued. Some members advocated for creating controlled contact, testing humans further under indirect conditions. Others insisted on passive observation until the species matured more fully. Arguments touched on morality, strategy, risk assessment, and the possibility of unknown capabilities that humans might develop. The envoy compiled all the debates, sending encrypted updates for further analysis. The humans, meanwhile, continued their training unknowingly, building skills, refining strategies, and learning from experience. Each new development, each innovation, and each ethical choice contributed to a species growing in capability faster than the Council had anticipated. The envoy noted that humans' rise was inevitable and that even minor decisions in the Council could influence how future interaction might unfold. Finally, the elder counselor called for a temporary resolution. "We are divided," she said. "No clear course of action satisfies all members. Therefore, we continue observation, maintain indirect testing, and prepare contingency plans. We do not interfere unless humans demonstrate interstellar intent or aggression." Relief and frustration rippled through the chamber. Some council members acknowledged the wisdom in caution, understanding that humans' growth required careful monitoring. Others frowned, believing decisive action should have been taken. The envoy recorded every response, noting that humans had indirectly achieved their first victory, forcing an entire interstellar council into debate and indecision. As the chamber emptied, the envoy returned to the humans' planet, silently observing their routines. Humans trained, innovated, and adapted daily, unaware that their actions had become a critical point of discussion among the galaxy's oldest powers. The envoy understood that every decision, every experiment, and every innovation mattered. Suspense lingered in every observation, for humans remained unpredictable, capable, and unaware of their growing influence. The Council's division was a reflection of humans' extraordinary nature. They had surpassed expectations, demonstrated ethical reasoning, and achieved strategic capability beyond their apparent stage of development. The envoy transmitted a final report for the cycle. Humans continue to display intelligence, adaptability, and creativity beyond projections. Observation remains critical. The Council remains divided. Humans' growth and unpredictability make them a species to watch closely. Future outcomes are uncertain and potentially extraordinary. Dawn illuminated the training grounds once more, and humans prepared for another day of exercises. The envoy hovered silently above, recording every movement, every interaction, and every decision. The Council's reaction was a testament to human potential, and the envoy understood that the story of humanity was entering a pivotal phase. Every action mattered, every decision contributed, and the suspense of what humans might achieve next hung heavily over the galaxy. The alien envoy moved closer to the human military training grounds, careful to remain undetected. Its sensors analyzed every detail, noting how humans coordinated movements, communicated silently, and adapted to unexpected situations. The humans had proven capable of learning quickly, solving complex problems, and improvising in real time. Each day revealed new skills, new strategies, and unexpected decisions. The envoy realized that observation alone was no longer enough. Subtle interaction, indirect testing, and careful monitoring were required to understand the full potential of this extraordinary species. Hidden above a forested training field, the envoy watched a squad of humans navigating a simulated battlefield. Obstacles appeared suddenly, fallen logs, uneven terrain, and unexpected diversions, but the humans adapted instantly. Some climbed, some diverted, and some used makeshift tools to overcome challenges. Their coordination was seamless. Signals, gestures, and brief verbal commands allowed the squad to act as one. The envoy noted that humans did not just react, they predicted, improvised, and evaluated options simultaneously. Each decision demonstrated intelligence, creativity, and teamwork. The envoy moved closer to observe individual decision-making. One human leader made a choice that seemed risky at first. The squad hesitated briefly, then followed, executing the maneuver flawlessly. The envoy recorded the incident carefully. This was not luck, it was calculated risk-taking combined with foresight, intuition, and collaboration. The humans were evolving rapidly, and the envoy realized that their true potential was hidden in plain sight. Later, the envoy focused on technological experimentation. Humans were testing equipment in ways that improved both efficiency and adaptability. One team modified communication devices to allow faster coordination. Another team experimented with defensive tools, improvising new techniques to neutralize simulated threats. Each experiment was deliberate, yet creative, showing humans' ability to integrate knowledge quickly and apply it effectively. The envoy transmitted another encrypted report to the Council, highlighting the humans' ingenuity and unpredictability. Their progress was alarming and fascinating. They had not yet discovered the wider universe, yet their learning curve was extraordinary. As the day progressed, the envoy observed tactical exercises involving multiple units. Humans coordinated attacks, defenses, and maneuvers with remarkable efficiency. They anticipated actions of opposing units, countered strategies, and adapted their approach on the fly. Minor mistakes were immediately corrected, and knowledge was shared among the units. The envoy realized that humans were capable of self-correction, collaboration, and improvisation all at once. This level of adaptive intelligence was rare in any species at this stage of development. At dusk, the humans gathered for strategic planning. The envoy watched from a concealed position as they discussed options, debated outcomes, and weighed risks. Decisions were made collectively, but individual insights shaped strategy. Ethical considerations were evident. They sought to minimize risk to their own, optimize efficiency, and achieve objectives effectively. The envoy noted that humans were capable of moral reasoning alongside strategy and creativity, a combination that made them unpredictable yet reliable. During a simulated crisis, the humans were presented with an unexpected problem: communication interference and environmental obstacles. While many species might falter, humans adapted. They improvised alternative communication methods, redistributed resources, and executed a coordinated solution that neutralized the problem. The envoy recorded every movement, gesture, and decision, aware that these humans were developing skills beyond expectation. The envoy also observed the humans' ability to learn from indirect experience. Some units conducted drills that intentionally introduced errors, teaching others how to respond effectively. This meta-learning showed intelligence and foresight, as humans not only solved problems but prepared for potential future challenges. The envoy realized that indirect teaching and collaborative analysis amplified human efficiency. As night fell, humans conducted additional exercises using limited visibility. Despite darkness, they moved with confidence, using intuition, communication, and strategic planning to maintain effectiveness. The envoy noted that unpredictability was now paired with discipline and precision. Humans could respond to unforeseen events, improvise solutions, and maintain collaboration, all without error. The envoy transmitted another urgent report to the Council, emphasizing that humans' capabilities were rapidly growing. They were not merely learning, they were evolving strategically, ethically, and socially. Observation had revealed a species that was unpredictable, creative, and highly adaptive. Any miscalculation by the Council could allow humans to surpass expectations faster than anticipated. During the late night, humans reviewed data, refined strategies, and prepared for the next day. The envoy recorded these actions, noting that humans were continuously improving, integrating lessons from previous exercises, and enhancing both technology and tactics. Each day contributed to a growing network of capability that would make humans formidable in the future. Suspense hung over every observation. The envoy understood that humans were no longer just a species to watch. They were a species to study carefully, interact with subtly, and respect deeply. Every innovation, every improvisation, and every ethical decision contributed to a rapid evolution that could alter the balance of power in ways the Council had not anticipated. The envoy whispered silently to itself, acknowledging the weight of its mission. Humans are evolving, unpredictable, and capable. Observe carefully. Test subtly. Their potential exceeds all projections. Dawn illuminated the training grounds once more. Humans prepared for a new day, unaware of the eyes studying them, the calculations being made, and the reports transmitted to the Council. The envoy remained hidden, knowing that every action, every choice, and every decision shaped a species whose rise was inevitable. Espionage had intensified, observation had deepened, and the humans' true capabilities were only beginning to be revealed. The envoy understood that the galaxy's future might soon be influenced by this extraordinary species, and every secret uncovered added suspense to a story still being written. The alien envoy hovered quietly above the human testing fields, its sensors recording every movement and action with precision. Humans were at work again, combining previous lessons with new strategies and improvisations. The envoy noted immediately that innovation was not limited to technology. It was evident in their tactics, communication, and even decision-making. Teams were experimenting with new formations, adapting to terrain, and modifying equipment in real time. Each change was deliberate yet creative, showing a species that could think critically, anticipate challenges, and apply solutions quickly. The envoy focused on one-team testing communication tools. Humans adjusted frequencies, created redundant channels, and integrated visual signals to coordinate faster than ever. The envoy observed how they learned from small mistakes, quickly modifying their approach without confusion or delay. What struck the envoy most was the humans' ability to combine multiple strategies simultaneously. While one group improvised with tools, another adjusted formation and predicted potential obstacles. This integration of skill, creativity, and anticipation was unlike any species the Council had previously observed. The envoy transmitted encrypted updates to the Council, emphasizing that humans were advancing in both technology and strategy at an unprecedented rate. Later, the envoy watched humans conducting complex simulations that involved multiple squads, unpredictable obstacles, and changing environmental conditions. They adapted seamlessly, analyzing new data and integrating it into their ongoing operations. Mistakes were rare, and when they occurred, they were quickly corrected. The humans were not only innovating, they were evolving their approach continuously. Small experiments led to new tactics, minor modifications in tools enhanced efficiency, and communication improvements optimized coordination. The envoy noted that humans were learning collectively, sharing knowledge rapidly, and building systems of adaptability that increased exponentially with every exercise. As evening fell, humans gathered around training tables, discussing observations, reviewing equipment, and planning for the next day. The envoy watched silently as humans debated, collaborated, and refined strategies. Their conversations included moral considerations, efficiency, and creativity. Each human offered ideas, and each suggestion was evaluated logically and ethically. The envoy noted that innovation was not just technical. It was social, intellectual, and ethical. Humans were solving problems collectively, anticipating future challenges, and integrating lessons faster than any simulation predicted. In one exercise, humans encountered an unexpected challenge, a simulated breakdown of equipment mid-mission. Instead of halting, they quickly improvised alternatives, redistributed resources, and completed objectives without failure. The envoy recorded every adjustment, gesture, and decision, recognizing the human's capacity to think creatively under pressure. Another observation revealed that humans were modifying existing tools to suit new purposes. They combined materials, reconfigured designs, and tested prototypes within hours, accelerating their learning process. The envoy realized that humans' approach to innovation was iterative, adaptive, and remarkably effective. Their ability to integrate knowledge, anticipate problems, and collaborate ethically made them unpredictable yet reliable. The envoy transmitted further reports to the Council, stressing that humans' innovation was not just technological, it was strategic, ethical, and social. Even minor adjustments had a significant impact on their overall capability, demonstrating that every action contributed to rapid growth. Late at night, humans conducted exercises under artificial light, simulating conditions of low visibility and high stress. They adjusted formations, refined communication, and adapted strategies while maintaining cohesion. The envoy noted that humans were capable of high-level problem-solving even in unfamiliar conditions. Improvisation, anticipation, and coordination combined seamlessly. Humans were learning not only from mistakes but from observation, experimentation, and collaboration. Each day added new knowledge, new tactics, and new ways to combine skills effectively. The envoy recorded these patterns meticulously, understanding that humans' rapid integration of learning, technology, and strategy made them a species of exceptional potential. The envoy also noticed subtle innovations in leadership. Human leaders evaluated performance in real time, assigned tasks based on skill, and encouraged experimentation within structured parameters. This flexible approach allowed the team to adapt to challenges quickly while improving efficiency and collaboration. Humans were not only evolving skills, they were evolving how they worked together, creating systems that multiplied their effectiveness. As dawn approached, humans reviewed their accomplishments, shared insights, and planned new exercises. The envoy observed quietly, realizing that innovation had become a core aspect of human culture. They were not just learning, they were anticipating, creating, and improving continuously. Suspense hung in the air because humans remained unpredictable, capable, and extraordinary. Their rapid growth in strategy, technology, and ethics had far-reaching implications. The envoy sent a final report of the cycle to the council. Humans are innovating beyond expectations. Their adaptability, creativity, and collaboration are accelerating growth. Observation is essential. The potential of this species is extraordinary and unpredictable. Continued monitoring is required to understand the full scope of their development. The humans prepared for another day, unaware of the silent observer. Every decision, every experiment, and every adaptation contributed to a species evolving rapidly, quietly, and efficiently. The envoy hovered above, recording, analyzing, and learning alongside them. Human innovation had reached a stage where unpredictability, intelligence, and creativity combined to create a species capable of remarkable advancement. Each day brought new surprises, new solutions, and new capabilities. The envoy realized that humans were no longer just an interesting subject. They were a species whose growth demanded attention, respect, and careful study. Their rise was inevitable, and every action taken today shaped the extraordinary future waiting for them. The alien envoy observed quietly as humans continued their exercises, unaware that subtle tests had been placed within their routines. These were not ordinary challenges. They were indirect probes designed to measure decision-making, ethical reasoning, and adaptability under pressure. The humans approached each task with remarkable ingenuity, often exceeding the envoy's expectations. It was clear that their intelligence was not simply reactive. They were capable of strategic foresight, learning, and improvisation all at once. The envoy recorded every action, gesture, and spoken command, analyzing how humans collaborated, communicated, and adjusted to unexpected situations. One group faced a simulated communication breakdown. Signals failed, devices malfunctioned, and environmental obstacles appeared. Rather than panic, the humans adapted instantly. They created new signals, redistributed tasks, and completed objectives efficiently. The envoy noted that this demonstrated not only creativity but ethical decision-making, as leaders ensured that all members remained safe while accomplishing goals. Elsewhere, another unit encountered a moral dilemma built into a simulation. The humans had to choose between a path that ensured success with high risk to some members or a safer strategy with slower progress. The unit deliberated quickly, weighing risks, considering consequences, and ultimately choosing the strategy that balanced efficiency with safety. The envoy recorded the decision, recognizing that this level of ethical reasoning, combined with strategic insight, was rare in any young species. Observing humans in groups revealed an extraordinary dynamic. Teams communicated fluidly, predicting each other's needs and adjusting actions without explicit commands. Leadership was not fixed but rotated according to circumstances, allowing those with the best perspective to make real-time decisions. This flexibility created efficiency and adaptability, making the humans unpredictable yet highly effective. The envoy moved to a vantage point above the testing area, scanning simulations where units faced multi-layered challenges. Obstacles appeared in succession, forcing humans to improvise and innovate continuously. Humans divided responsibilities, reassigned roles, and integrated newly discovered solutions seamlessly. The envoy's algorithms struggled to predict outcomes, highlighting that humans' intelligence was evolving faster than the envoy's models anticipated. Later, humans gathered for a group discussion about the exercises. They analyzed mistakes, proposed alternatives, and experimented with hypothetical scenarios. Ethical considerations were paramount. Every proposed solution weighed efficiency against risk, collaboration against individual initiative. The envoy noted that humans were building a culture of shared learning and strategic foresight, accelerating growth beyond the natural learning curve. A particularly striking moment occurred when a unit devised a completely new method to overcome a simulated threat. This method involved coordination across multiple teams, improvisation of tools, and rapid decision-making. The envoy recognized that humans were capable of complex problem-solving without external guidance. Their creativity and adaptability were intertwined, forming a unique intelligence that could not be anticipated easily. Night fell, yet humans continued working under artificial lights, refining strategies, and testing innovations. The envoy observed their endurance, attention to detail, and commitment to collective success. Humans adapted to each new challenge, learning from both successes and failures. The envoy sent encrypted reports to the Council, emphasizing that humans were mastering strategy, ethics, and teamwork simultaneously. The Council would be forced to reconsider predictions about human potential. The following day, humans faced a simulation that combined technical, strategic, and moral challenges. Teams had to improvise solutions while maintaining communication and minimizing risk. Humans performed flawlessly, demonstrating flexibility, foresight, and ethical reasoning. The envoy marveled at their capacity to integrate multiple skills under pressure. Each minor innovation improved the overall efficiency of the mission. Observing leadership dynamics, the envoy noticed that humans encouraged independent thinking while maintaining collective coordination. Leaders guided, rather than commanded, fostering collaboration, creativity, and initiative. This balance between freedom and structure allowed humans to respond to challenges unpredictably yet effectively. Even the envoy, trained to analyze patterns and predict behavior, could not fully anticipate human responses. Humans were becoming a species whose intelligence combined strategy, ethics, creativity, and adaptability in ways that defied conventional models. During a late-night debrief, humans discussed potential future simulations, proposing new methods to test strategy, ethics, and improvisation. The envoy recognized this metacognition, the ability to anticipate challenges, plan improvements, and innovate strategies before encountering problems, as a hallmark of extraordinary intelligence. Suspense filled the observation. Humans remained unaware of the tests, yet each action, each decision, and each innovation revealed layers of capability. The envoy transmitted a detailed report to the Council. Humans are mastering adaptive strategy, ethical reasoning, and creative problem-solving simultaneously. They respond unpredictably but effectively. Observation and subtle testing are crucial. Their potential exceeds prior projections and demands careful study. The first rays of dawn illuminated the human training grounds once more. Humans prepared for another day, innovating, collaborating, and improving. Every exercise, every decision, and every ethical choice contributed to a species rapidly evolving in capability. The envoy hovered silently, recording each moment, aware that humans' intelligence, adaptability, and moral reasoning combined to create a force that could influence the galaxy's balance in unpredictable ways. Diplomatic tests, subtle and indirect, had succeeded. Humans responded creatively and ethically without knowing they were being evaluated. The envoy realized that the true measure of humanity's rise lay not in raw power, but in ingenuity, adaptability, and integrity. The story of humanity's growth continued, each day bringing new surprises, new solutions, and new reasons for the galaxy to watch closely. The Alien Council convened once again, the chamber glowing with holographic projections of human activity. The envoy had transmitted detailed reports, showing humans' rapid learning, adaptability, and creativity in both strategy and ethical reasoning. As the Council examined the data, tension filled the room. Some members expressed admiration for the humans, noting their ingenuity and potential for constructive growth. Others voiced concern, fearing that the species' unpredictability and rapid evolution could become a serious threat if left unchecked. The councilors debated passionately, their voices echoing through the grand hall. One elder councilor spoke with authority, emphasizing caution. "This species has shown remarkable adaptability and intelligence," she said, "but their unpredictability cannot be ignored. Intervention may be necessary to prevent unforeseen consequences." Another councilor countered, her tone calm yet firm. "Intervention could provoke them unnecessarily. Humans have not yet discovered the wider universe. Their current development is remarkable, but patience may allow us to understand them better and foster cooperation in the future." The chamber erupted into a heated discussion. Some members suggested controlled observation, testing humans indirectly through subtle challenges. Others argued that passive monitoring alone would allow humans to surpass expectations, potentially making them uncontrollable. A younger counselor leaned forward, pointing to the projections of humans innovating under pressure. Their capacity for problem-solving, ethics, and coordination is unlike anything we have seen. Even minor exposure to external influence could change the trajectory of their development. We must consider carefully before acting. The envoy watched silently, noting that humans' growth had become a source of division among the oldest and wisest beings in the galaxy. Every new skill, every innovative tactic, and every ethical decision by the humans triggered debate, reconsideration, and even disagreement among council members. Some counselors worried about long-term security. They feared that humans' creativity and adaptability would soon surpass predictive models, making them a species whose actions could not be anticipated. "We cannot ignore the risks," said one member sharply. Humans may appear cooperative, but their ingenuity and unpredictability could become a destabilizing force. Waiting may be too late. Others advocated for restraint. Our history shows that premature interference often produces unintended consequences. Humans are still young. Observation and subtle testing allow them to develop while minimizing danger. Patience is our greatest tool. The debate grew increasingly complex. Some council members considered deploying covert agents to influence human development. Others suggested establishing indirect communication to gauge moral reasoning and response under pressure. Still others argued that humans should be left entirely alone to evolve naturally, without interference from interstellar forces. The envoy recorded every argument, noting the alignment between the humans' unpredictability and the council's indecision. The humans, unknowingly, had created uncertainty among beings who had faced countless civilizations. Night deepened, yet discussions continued. Some counselors highlighted simulations projecting humans' potential growth over decades, demonstrating that even minor interventions could alter development in unpredictable ways. Ethical considerations complicated matters further. Some argued that interfering with a young species' growth might violate universal codes of conduct, while others maintained that proactive measures were necessary to ensure galactic stability. The envoy observed a faction advocating controlled indirect challenges, similar to the tests already implemented by the envoy itself. They argued that humans' responses to subtle pressures revealed extraordinary problem-solving skills and ethical decision-making. Another faction insisted that humans should remain entirely unaware of observation to preserve natural evolution. The chamber fell into quiet reflection as each member weighed arguments, projections, and ethical implications. Every projection emphasized one truth: humans were evolving unpredictably, rapidly, and with remarkable intelligence. No council member could fully anticipate their next move. The envoy transmitted the compiled data from recent human exercises, highlighting instances of innovation, coordination, and ethical reasoning under pressure. The projections displayed humans overcoming obstacles in creative ways, responding to challenges they had never encountered before, and integrating lessons with astonishing speed. This evidence further deepened the Council's divide. As dawn approached on the human world, the Council reached a temporary resolution. Humans would continue to be observed indirectly, with no direct interference unless they demonstrated interstellar intent or posed a clear threat. Plans were made for further analysis, indirect testing, and monitoring of long-term development. The Council remained divided, however. Arguments lingered in the chamber, as projections continued to show humans' growth accelerating beyond previous estimates. Some members feared that even passive observation might be too late, while others felt that restraint was essential to maintain balance and ethical standards. The envoy returned to the humans' planet, cloaked among the clouds, continuing silent observation. Humans trained, experimented, and innovated, unaware of the debate unfolding in a distant chamber. Every decision, every adaptation, and every ethical choice contributed to a species that was unpredictable, rapidly evolving, and extraordinary. Suspense hung thick in the envoy's sensors. Humans' ingenuity had created a ripple effect, causing division among the galaxy's oldest powers. The envoy realized that even minor actions taken by humans had consequences far beyond their world, influencing strategies, debates, and planning on an interstellar scale. As the humans' day progressed, their exercises continued to demonstrate adaptability, creativity, and teamwork. The envoy noted that each innovation, adjustment, and decision strengthened the species' potential, challenging the Council's ability to predict outcomes. Reports were sent continuously, highlighting both tactical brilliance and ethical considerations displayed by humans under pressure. The Council's division persisted. Some members feared that humans' rapid growth and unpredictability would force a future confrontation. Others hoped that careful observation and subtle testing would allow the species to evolve responsibly, providing opportunities for diplomacy and cooperation in the future. The envoy observed that the humans themselves were unaware of the interstellar tension surrounding them. Their focus remained on collaboration, problem-solving, and innovation. Yet every action, every decision, and every ethical choice shaped a species that was quickly becoming extraordinary. The envoy transmitted a final message for the cycle. Humans' adaptability, creativity, and ethical reasoning continue to surpass expectations. Observation is critical. The Council remains divided, reflecting humans' unpredictability. Future outcomes are uncertain. The potential of this species is extraordinary and demands close attention. As the sun rose on the human world, the envoy hovered silently, recording, analyzing, and preparing for the next phase of observation. The alien envoy observed quietly from above as humans continued their exercises, unaware of the scrutiny they were under. Each day, humans demonstrated increasing mastery over strategy, coordination, and improvisation. They moved through complex training grounds with precision, adjusting to obstacles and challenges that had been introduced subtly to test their adaptability. One team encountered a sudden simulated crisis. Communication devices failed, and the terrain became unexpectedly hazardous. Rather than falter, humans adjusted their tactics instantly. Some climbed, some rerouted, and others improvised tools to overcome obstacles. Coordination was seamless, and leadership emerged naturally where needed. The envoy noted that humans were learning from both successes and failures, integrating new knowledge faster than any previous species observed. Later, humans engaged in a multi-unit simulation requiring communication, timing, and resource management. Tasks were distributed efficiently, and groups anticipated one another's actions. Errors were rare and corrected immediately. The humans displayed not only skill but foresight, making decisions that minimized risk while maximizing efficiency. The envoy recorded these actions meticulously, understanding that humans were moving beyond simple learning into true mastery. Night exercises revealed another layer of capability. Humans navigated through low-light environments, adapting movement and strategy while maintaining cohesion and coordination. Leadership shifted fluidly according to circumstances, allowing those with the clearest perspective to guide the group. Each individual contributed uniquely, creating a dynamic system that was both adaptable and resilient. The envoy noted that humans were capable of self-assessment and adjustment without external guidance, a sign of advanced intelligence. Ethical reasoning was evident in decisions where risk and safety were balanced. In one simulation, humans were presented with a moral dilemma. Proceed with an aggressive plan for faster success or take a safer, slower approach that minimized harm to team members. The squad deliberated quickly and chose the balanced path, demonstrating judgment, foresight, and ethical awareness. Such decisions reflected a level of maturity and sophistication rarely observed in species at this developmental stage. The envoy also observed technological improvisation. Humans modified equipment in real time, creating tools that were not only effective but also adaptable for multiple scenarios. Communication devices, defensive tools, and even training apparatus were reconfigured on the fly, showing creativity and practical intelligence combined. The envoy transmitted encrypted reports to the Council, emphasizing that humans were mastering not only strategy and coordination but also creativity, innovation, and ethical reasoning. Later, humans conducted complex group exercises involving multiple teams and overlapping objectives. They communicated seamlessly, adapted to unexpected developments, and integrated lessons learned from earlier simulations. Every adjustment, every minor innovation contributed to a system of mastery that was growing exponentially. The envoy noted that humans were capable of meta-learning. They not only solved problems but also developed methods to teach others, share insights, and prepare for unforeseen challenges. Each day, their adaptability improved, and their decision-making became more refined. During night planning sessions, humans reviewed past exercises, analyzed errors, and proposed new strategies. They anticipated potential problems, created solutions preemptively, and collaborated effectively. The envoy recorded that this level of foresight, combined with rapid learning and ethical decision-making, indicated a species moving toward mastery. The envoy also noted leadership patterns. Leaders encouraged initiative, allowed for creativity, and guided decision-making without imposing rigid control. Teams functioned autonomously yet cohesively, balancing independence and collaboration in ways that enhanced performance. Such adaptability made humans unpredictable yet exceptionally effective, a combination that challenged the envoy's predictive models. Dawn brought a new day of exercises. Humans were tested with multi-layered challenges involving both strategy and ethics. Teams faced simulated threats, environmental obstacles, and communication failures. Humans adapted without hesitation, using previous lessons while improvising new solutions. Coordination, foresight, and ethical reasoning combined seamlessly, demonstrating a level of mastery that few species achieved quickly. The envoy compiled a detailed report for the Council, highlighting signs of mastery in strategy, coordination, innovation, and ethical decision-making. Humans were no longer just learning, they were perfecting their abilities, integrating skills across multiple domains, and preparing for unforeseen challenges with remarkable efficiency. Suspense hung over the observation as the envoy noted that humans were capable of surprising even the oldest and wisest members of the Council. Every day revealed new levels of competence, creativity, and foresight. Humans were approaching a point where mastery would make them unpredictable, formidable, and highly influential in the galactic balance. By nightfall, humans conducted final exercises, reviewing strategies, improvising solutions, and reinforcing teamwork. The envoy understood that mastery was not a single achievement but a continuous process. Each innovation, decision, and ethical choice strengthened humans' capabilities, preparing them for challenges beyond their world. Humans were evolving rapidly, integrating knowledge, skills, and morality into a system of intelligence that was both adaptable and extraordinary. The envoy transmitted the final report for the day. Humans demonstrate signs of mastery across strategy, innovation, ethics, and coordination. Observation remains critical. Their development continues to exceed predictions. Humans are capable of unprecedented adaptation and influence. As the humans rested, unaware of the scrutiny, the envoy remained vigilant. Each action, each choice, and each innovation contributed to a species whose rise was inevitable. Suspense lingered, for humans were approaching a level of mastery that could alter the galaxy's understanding of intelligence, strategy, and ethical development. The story of humanity's growth continued, each day revealing new capabilities, new strategies, and new surprises for the envoy and the Council alike. The alien envoy hovered silently above the human settlement as dawn broke, casting long shadows across the training grounds. Over the weeks, humans had demonstrated extraordinary skill, creativity, and ethical reasoning. Each day brought new insights, new strategies, and new innovations that the envoy had recorded meticulously. Today, however, felt different. The humans were approaching a level of capability that hinted at something far greater than routine adaptation. The envoy observed squads moving with precision, improvising seamlessly, and communicating with subtle signals that only those attuned could understand. Even when unexpected obstacles were introduced, a sudden simulated collapse, a new environmental hazard, the humans adapted instantly, redistributing tasks, modifying tools, and coordinating without hesitation. Every decision reflected a balance of strategy, creativity, and ethical judgment. The envoy's sensors highlighted a striking pattern. Humans were no longer merely responding, they were predicting. Their strategies considered not only immediate challenges but potential contingencies several steps ahead. Leadership was flexible, allowing those with the clearest perspective to guide the group while still encouraging individual initiative. This balance of autonomy and cohesion created a system of intelligence that was evolving faster than any external observer could calculate. During a complex simulation, humans were confronted with a scenario that combined multiple simultaneous threats. Communication systems were disrupted, terrain shifted unexpectedly, and resources became limited. The humans paused only briefly, assessing the situation before acting decisively. Teams improvised new communication methods, modified tools for alternate uses, and executed coordinated maneuvers that neutralized all threats efficiently. The envoy recorded every detail, aware that humans were demonstrating an unprecedented integration of tactical skill, innovation, and ethical reasoning. Later, as the sun rose higher, humans gathered to review their performance. Discussions were animated but focused. Mistakes were analyzed, lessons integrated, and new strategies proposed. Ethical implications were debated carefully, showing that humans valued not just success but responsibility and collaboration. The envoy noted that this combination of reflection, foresight, and collective learning was rare in any species at this stage. Even minor experiments had wide-reaching effects, improving efficiency and adaptability across all units. A particularly remarkable moment occurred when humans discovered a novel solution to a simulated communication breakdown. Instead of relying solely on technology, they combined observation, intuition, and teamwork to maintain coordination. The envoy recorded the ingenuity, noting that humans were capable of combining multiple domains of problem-solving in real time. As night approached, humans conducted exercises under artificial light, facing simulated threats and challenging scenarios. Coordination remained flawless despite unpredictability, improvisation was rapid and effective, and leadership adjusted dynamically to optimize outcomes. Humans demonstrated mastery over complex systems, integrating skill, ethics, and creativity with remarkable precision. The envoy transmitted an urgent report to the Council, emphasizing that humans' growth was accelerating beyond projections. Their integration of strategy, innovation, ethical reasoning, and coordination was creating a species capable of extraordinary adaptability and influence. The Council, already divided by previous observations, received the report with heightened attention. The envoy noted that humans' rise had become a central topic of debate, as their unpredictability and capability challenged even the oldest and wisest beings in the galaxy. The humans themselves remained unaware of the interstellar tension surrounding them. They focused entirely on collaboration, problem-solving, and improving their skills. Each experiment, each ethical decision, and each innovation strengthened a species on the verge of achieving mastery. In a final simulation for the day, humans were presented with a scenario combining tactical, ethical, and strategic challenges simultaneously. Success required prediction, innovation, and ethical judgment in real time. The humans adapted instantly, improvising solutions, redistributing resources, and coordinating flawlessly. The envoy observed with astonishment as humans achieved a level of integration that surpassed all previous measurements. Every team member contributed uniquely, yet their actions were perfectly synchronized. The envoy recorded that humans had reached a stage where mastery was not a single achievement but a continuous, evolving process. Their intelligence was adaptive, creative, and ethical, creating outcomes that defied prediction. Suspense hung over every observation. Humans were capable of decisions that even the most advanced analytical models could not anticipate. The envoy understood that this species had reached a pivotal moment in its development. Each choice, each experiment, and each innovation was building toward a species that could alter galactic dynamics, not through sheer power but through intelligence, creativity, and ethical action. As humans rested for the night, the envoy hovered silently above, recording final reflections on the cycle. The Council would need to recognize that humans' rise was inevitable, that their unpredictability, mastery, and ethical reasoning made them extraordinary. The envoy prepared a comprehensive report. Humans have achieved an unprecedented level of mastery across strategy, innovation, coordination, and ethical reasoning. Their adaptability and creativity are accelerating rapidly. Observation must continue. This species has the potential to influence galactic dynamics profoundly. Their future is uncertain, yet extraordinary. Dawn approached once more, and humans prepared for another day, unaware of the attention, analysis, and debate they had inspired among beings far older and wiser. Suspense lingered in the envoy's sensors because humans remained unpredictable, capable, and extraordinary. Each action, each decision, and each innovation contributed to a species whose rise was quiet, relentless, and inevitable. The final revelation for the envoy was clear. Humans were no longer merely observers of their environment. They were masters of adaptation, strategy, and ethics. Their journey was far from complete, yet the trajectory was undeniable. Humanity's potential had been revealed, and the galaxy would never perceive them in the same way again.